Okay, so we're diving into some fascinating stuff today. Adam Ripley and that whole Beyond the Rituals
Oh,
community.
yeah. Familiar with their work, yeah.
Well, this is their unique perspective on love and relationships and how those tie into what they call God's divine essence. Oh, we could dig into this blog post you sent over.
Sounds good to me. It's always intriguing to see how they kind of turn traditional ideas on their head.
Right, like their whole philosophy of the divine law. It's not your typical spiritual approach.
Definitely not. Remember his YouTube channel, Practicing Truth? It's all about challenging those conventional views. And you can find more on that at beyondtherituals.com.
Exactly. So let's break down how this philosophy reframes love.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Because it's not about warm, fuzzy feelings or anything like that.
Right. It's way more grounded.
The blog post really contrasts their view with those more traditional ideas of love, like the whole divine command thing where love is like a duty, or that mystical soulmate connection, finding the one.
Yeah, those are pretty common ways of thinking about it.
But the divine law perspective, it's different. It's way more about truth and actually seeing the other person.
Yeah, they see love as a response. Like when you truly perceive someone without all your own baggage and judgments clouding things up, that's when love emerges.
So it's less about how we feel and more about how we see.
Exactly. They even say it's not about feeling special or anything like that. It's about recognizing that shared reality we have with another person and honoring the truth between you.
Wow, that's a pretty big shift, isn't it?
For sure. I mean, think about it. Love, in this context, means recognizing and respecting the real essence of another person within, like, the reality you both share.
And truth is super important here, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's the foundation. It's not just about being nice or agreeable. It's about seeing and acknowledging what's actually there.
Okay, I see. So how does this truth-based love actually play out in relationships?
Well, if love starts with truth, then your relationship's got to be built on it too, right? The document talks about choosing truth over obligation, being aware instead of just role-playing, and having mutual clarity instead of trying to control each other.
That's a lot to unpack. What would a healthy relationship look like in this framework?
It would be built on honesty, first and foremost, like being able to express yourself openly and genuinely, and truly seeing the other person for who they are, not who you wish they were or who you expect them to be. No playing pretend.
And that kind of honesty and clarity can really help people grow together, right? With respect for each other.
Exactly. And that respect comes from truly understanding each other, not from some preconceived notion or societal expectation.
So what about when things get tough? Like when relationships hit a rough patch?
Well, the material talks about breakups, and it doesn't just say forgive and forget like a lot of philosophies do.
What does it say?
It's all about understanding the truth of the situation, figuring out what's actually worth healing and what you need to let go of, and letting clarity guide you, not just some rule that says you have to forget.
Sounds very practical.
Very much so. And this all ties into how they view God's divine essence in relationships.
Fill me in, because that one always throws me for a loop.
Right. So they describe this essence as this presence of thought that you just recognize instantly, and it guides you to act in a way that leads to the best possible outcome.
Okay.
So according to the philosophy, this divine essence becomes more apparent when both people are being truthful, aware, and open to each other's reality.
Like genuinely connecting with each other.
Yes, exactly. And here's a really interesting point, Eddie. They explicitly state God is not love in their philosophy.
Whoa, that goes against so many traditional beliefs.
Right. So then where does God's divine essence fit in? Well, they're saying that truth is actually the foundation for love to exist. It's when we let go of all those masks we wear and connect authentically with each other, that's when we can experience this essence.
So it's not about some otherworldly love or anything like that. It's about the connection itself.
It is, and they have this analogy that I find really helpful. They say love is what it feels like when you connect with someone while being fully yourself, no pretending, no hiding. Just two people being real and present with each other.
And when you have that kind of clarity, when those illusions fall away, that's when you're closest to experiencing God's divine essence.
Exactly. The sacredness isn't coming from some supernatural force. It arises from that deep recognition of shared existence in that space of truth. It's almost like the illusions are blocking that connection and the divine essence.
Wow. So this philosophy is saying that love is real, it's not mystical, it's grounded in truth and being present with another person. And relationships thrive when they're built on honesty, mutual respect, and clear seeing.
That's a great summary. And God's divine essence, it's not love itself, but this presence that you feel in genuine connections. It guides you towards a positive outcome. It's a unique perspective for sure.
Definitely. And it makes you think, doesn't it? Like, Instead of just going through the motions or following what we think we're supposed to do in relationships, what if we really prioritized truth and clarity?
It's a good question. How might that change our experience of relationships and even our understanding of reality itself? Something to ponder. Maybe our listeners can explore that for themselves.
That's a great point to leave it on. Thanks for diving in with me.
Of course, always a pleasure.